Evening all, welcome back to Dust, and today we're going to do, well, we're going to fly a dropship. There you go, too long didn't read, that's it, we're doing a dropship today. No particular reason, I think I'm just enjoying the dropship a little more. And I thought what we'd do today is we'll look maybe at some of the more positive things to do with Dust still. I know people are kind of getting a bit ragey, maybe is the fair statement, about my my narrative to do with the Dust experience. Don't get me wrong, I still think this game is brilliant. I really do enjoy it. I'm not playing it as much, I must admit, because just not a lot of other people are playing it as much, and I think that's a bit of a shame in a way, because when less people are obviously playing the game, just generally, I think you're not going to get as good a fight. For example, most of the matches currently do feel like they are kind of, they feel like they're maybe not fully manned. We are fighting a lot of 10v10s and below. We went to the American servers and we played on the American servers for a bit, and they were quite good, but they were a bit easy. No, I'm kidding, don't. How many people just switched off and they're like, oh, Pyrex, screw you, as you eat your cheeseburger. Yeah, whatever. Look, to be honest, I'm joking. The American servers are actually quite alive and kicking. They were quite good. They were all full, and there was lots of gangs, so it was actually quite heartening to see. It kind of strengthens my my opinion that I shared with with Bam and Booker when we did our little conversation with them. That I think the next server to be switched off will be Euro. I know it's crazy, but it just doesn't feel like there's the same number of players in Euro at the moment. I think what they should do is just have one server that just is global. Obviously, well, just remove it as a requirement. So they shouldn't have even just said they're getting rid of Oceania. They should have just removed, well, probably can't because they can't fix it, but ideally they should have just said we're removing localization support, so that the game will detect the best setting and do it for you, and then just secretly set like a single bank of servers or something. That probably would have been better, but hey, what do I know? I think the reality is that there's not a lot of people playing Euro servers at the moment at the higher level, because obviously we're really good at the game. In fact, we are prodigies and brilliant at this game. That was sarcasm. And we generally find that we don't have a lot of teammates and enemies, etc. It's rarely above 10 versus 10 now. Now we do get obviously the match where it is 16v16, but I've got to admit it's getting rarer and rarer, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's just not a lot of people are playing, but we're going to be positive. So I think continuing our positive theme, I think dropships are still rather good fun. I think a lot of the time, I think it's really quite enjoyable to do something a bit different. And we spoke about this, Stefan and Schley and myself were talking about this. The Masters of the Universe, or at least a subset of them, had a little bit of a conference where we just sat down and said, what's going on, bro? And we kind of fleshed out that one of the biggest problems to this game is people master a fit, they master a gun, and then they leave because they kind of get bored of it. One of the things that I find from people who have continued and maintained a very healthy Dust career is that they change what they do relatively often. Okay, now I think that has to be the best advice you could ever be given in a game like this, because if you don't, you're just going to play and experience a single element of the game, missing 90% of the content additionally to that. And then you'll leave, and then you're kind of like, yeah, Dust 514, been there, got the t-shirt, done that. And you're like, well, no, actually, you've done bugger all. You actually haven't done much within there at all. So I offer you this challenge. I think the best thing you can do if you're getting a little bit bored of the game is try something completely different. Try dropships, try tanks, try LAVs, mount a 20 gigajoule railgun on the back of an LAV, drive it around, shoot dudes, have fun. Try the scout suit, try shotgun scouting if you haven't done that, try the heavy machine gun on a heavy, try the plasma cannon on a commando suit, try the scrambler rifle or the rare rifle on a medium frame. Just try something. And I think if you do this, you'll have a good time, because the reality is that there's a huge amount of fun to be had across the board. Dust is still an incredibly good game because it does vehicles very well, and it does the PvP element better than most, because let me explain why. Destiny's biggest issue, as we see it, and this is on Vox Pops, so don't shoot the messenger, but the biggest issue it has is that it's just too one-shot kill like. So it's very similar to, I guess, Quake and Half-Life to a degree. Maybe not Half-Life, but it's similar to those kind of games. Unreal Tournament maybe, but they just don't have that longevity that a combat encounter in Dust has. You think in Dust you can take cover, you can sprint and jump and run away, you can strafe, you annoying bastards, but you can. It's a tactic that is viable. It's only really kind of one-hit weapons like plasma cannons, shotguns, flaylocks that kind of make it so you can't evade. Everything else you generally can evade when they hit you, and that's kind of my opening gambit. That's kind of what I think generally is good about Dust in its insincerity. What I think games like PlanetSide 2 did very badly was using kind of good movement mechanics when compared to the game that you play. In Dust 5 and 4, you can somersault, jump, flail around and strafe, and you feel mobile, you feel agile, particularly in a scout suit, obviously. In PlanetSide 2, you feel like you're rooted to the floor, and when you jump, you're doing kind of like a little jump, a little bit like a Mario who's drunk and broken a leg. You can't really you can't jump properly. And where I think that's actually what this game does very well. So I think, don't write it off. I still think this game is excellent, and I think you're going to have just a huge amount of fun if you can just find that little nugget of excellence, surrounding all the kind of boring grey stuff. And unfortunately, this game has it. Look at this for a maneuver. Oh baby. I was shot by a forge gun and it flipped me upside down as I hit the building, and I managed to recover it before I basically hit the floor very hard. That was a fun bit of flying. So there you go, great example, great advert for dropshipping. Dropshipping is fun. In fact, it's incredibly fun, and I think if you can just get past the cost of it, if you can get past the difficulty of doing it for the first time, you'll find it's actually pretty good fun. And this is just one example. Tanking is also pretty good. Even if it's just a Seeker with a railgun, that's pretty good. You'll kill a lot of stuff with that. You'll give the proto tank a headache with that fit, and plus it costs you very little, so you can lose quite a few. So I think definitely give it a go. Try missiles and blasters as well, obviously. Don't just stick with the railgun, but I think just make it maybe a bit of a resolution for this week. Just try something completely different and see how you get on. Yeah, you're gonna suck at some stuff, so if you've never used a scrambler rifle before, guess what, bro? It's going to be hard. But once you've got over it, and maybe you'll experience that little glimmer of fun, then I think that's the time to kind of enjoy it, and I would heartily recommend that. It's all I've ever done. Whenever I play these games, if it was Eve, if it was PlanetSide, if it was Dust 5 on 4, if it was Destiny, whatever it be, my approach to these games is to try everything, and I have to try everything as I die comically as I'm stuck to a building. Isn't that glorious? Oh, CCP, the expensive dropships. But there you go, annoying but fun. And I think, to be honest, this is the kind of stuff that you should look to try and do. Enjoy the game, and I think you will be surprised how much fun there actually is to be had out there. I heartily recommend it. I really do. So I guess that's it, really. I mean, in Subtext, there's still, I think, not enough people playing. I think I would urge people to continue playing. Don't give up. A lot of people are giving up. Don't. That's number one. Rule number two, if I find you and I catch you, I will flay you alive. And rule number three, I think the best thing to do with this game is to actually just see what you can do and have a bit of a laugh. And I think you will be surprised, actually, at what can be fun. And, just plasma canning in a dude like that, that's fun. That's pretty funny. And I think really that's the kind of enjoyment that I look for from the game. Doesn't matter if I die 5 or 6 times getting that kill. If I do something that looks really cool and is pretty funny, then that's more you can, that's exactly what you're looking to do. So there we go, we won. Victoria. What more to say, really? I think we're going to carry on doing these videos. Series 4 is about to launch. We've got all new artwork for it. Ooh. So we're not moving away from it, but we are looking, I think, for a bit more of a challenge, a bit more fun, and maybe we're looking for that little bit more Legion news that just keeps us going, it keeps us sustained, and it keeps us engaged. But there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.